Hello, class. We are going to be learning about graphs today. Before we learn about graphs, I just want to share a few vocabulary words that we have been going over. The first one is data. Data is a collection of information. Can you say that? Collection of information. Perfect. The next thing we're going to go over is what a survey is. A survey is a collection of data from answers to questions. So that is a survey. It's oftentimes shown like here in a chart with tally charts. Bar graph. The one we're focusing on today is bar graph. And a bar graph is a graph that uses height or length of rectangles to compare data. And we're going to go more into that today. So I'm going to model for you what your UDO is going to look like and some of the things that your UDO is going to look like. The first thing is that this bar graph uses bars to show data. So as you can see right here, there's this big rectangle that's lined up with the word basketball. That means that that bar is representing all the people that wanted to play basketball. Then here right on this side that says outdoor games, there's categories that say basketball, jump rope, and soccer. Those are the 4 categories that children were asked what they liked to do outside. On the bottom, you see that there's numbers 0 through 9, and then there's lines that go up. Those lines represent how many kids wanted to do that specific thing. So I'm going to show you how our information and how we're going to answer these questions. The first one is how many students voted. I want you to think just for a second, how could I gather all that information? Doesn't necessarily tell me how many students, so I want to figure that out. How we can do that is we look at all the categories and all those numbers. So first I'm going to look at basketball, then I'm going to follow the bar all the way to when it stops. Then I'm going to look down and there's a 6. So right there where there's that 6, I'm going to write down the 6 because I want to be able to add up all of the numbers that I'm going to find. The next one is jump rope. So I'm going to find jump rope and go all the way down and go to the 3. That means 3 people asked that jump rope was their favorite. Then soccer, they come to this line and then you go and it's 8. 8 children said that. And then tag, 5 kids said that. Now we need to use our skills using 4 add-ins. So we're adding these all up together to figure out how many students or how many children actually were asked with this data. So we add the first 2 numbers, the top 2 numbers. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then 8 plus 5 is 13. As I'm writing it. Then 9 plus 13, because those are our 2 numbers, now we can add 2 numbers. 9 plus 13 is 22. So we had 22 students total who voted. And remember, I got that because I did all 4 categories with those numbers, and then I added them all together. Now I want to ask, it's asking me, how many more students voted for tag than jump rope? So I'm going to quickly erase this so I have room to work so you guys can see. So I'm just going to quickly erase this because we got 22, and you can rewatch this video as many times as you'd like. So now what I'm going to do is how many more students voted for tag than jump rope? I want to think about this. They're not asking how many students voted for tag and jump rope. They're wanting me to compare how many more students voted for tag than jump rope. Okay, so I'm thinking about that. And the best way for me to do this is I want to get both numbers, and I'm going to put it into a box so I can compare them. My fun little cute box. So when you're comparing numbers, you want to put the bigger number as your whole with our box right here. So if I look, jump rope has 3 and tag has 5. 5 is bigger than 3, so I'm going to put the 5 on the bottom. Then I'm going to put the 3 on top. Then I'm comparing, so 3 plus what equals 5? Because that's how many more students played tag than jump rope. So if I do 3 plus what equals 5, I bet many of you have already thought about it, and my answer is 2. I had 2 more students want to play tag than jump rope. So I'm going to put 2, and then I'm going to put students, because to what? With story problems and with data especially, we want to know exactly what we're talking about. And it's difficult to write on the computer with a mouse. So sorry, my handwriting is not very great. Then how many students played something besides soccer? This is really, really tricky. So I want you to think. We started off with 22 students and then played something besides soccer. So 8 students played soccer. What we could do is we could add all 3 of these categories up, and that's how many students played it besides soccer. But we could also think, oh, if I take away, I know 22 students voted in all, so if I just take out all of the friends who played soccer, then I can figure out what they're asking. So again, I'm just going to quickly erase just what's been in here, because I'm going to use this box again for a different problem. So I started off with 22 students. Then I want to find out how many students played something besides soccer. That means played something everything except for soccer. So soccer, we had 8 people who played soccer. So I'm going to put this 8 right there. So then with it fit my box filled out, I can go 8 plus what equals 22. I can also, with my math facts, because math facts are equivalent, I can go 22 take away 8 equals the number that I want. So if I do one of my strategies, I can either punch down or I can use a number line. So I am going to punch down. I'm going to go 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 14, because that's 8. Then 14 would be my answer. Do it in a different color so you can see. 14 students played something besides soccer. So there you go. That is our I do. So for your other questions, I want to help you know that I want you to think about what the story problem is saying and what the question is actually asking you.